You know it's game on, and today's conversation is a very important one. We are joined by Garth, a Voisin, you know what I mean? And he's an advocate for men's mental health, especially in the month of June. You know June is Men's Mental Health Month?
Yeah.
Like I said, I will fast 3 times.
Men's mental health one, men's not.
All right, cool. Yeah, but an advocate for men's mental health. So we find it only fitting that we discuss that today and see what it is to be a man in today's climate. Yeah, not just about saying how good, but creating spaces for it to really grow, develop, and release.
And stay game on as a man in today's world.
Yeah. So, Mr. Voisin, thank you for having us. Yeah, because we're really glad you came here today, you know. Yeah. I mean, we taking this time, you know.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what it is. Yeah. Right?
Well, thanks for pronouncing him good. You know?
I mean.
I think you was practicing, you know?
Yeah.
No. Well, it's easier, you know, because off camera we were asking you about your relation to the great Daisy.
Oh,
That relation, right?
Yeah. It's easier to do that way. Yeah. That makes sense.
That's your.
That's like a great aunt.
That's a great aunt. So you have any parang in here?
Nice.
Give me something I got.
All I want is pasta. Just pasta.
Yeah, that's it.
Pasta, yeah.
All right, so tell us a bit more about yourself beyond your relative.
All right, so as you said earlier, not just a mental health advocate, but mental wellness, man and voice advocate. I do some stuff locally, you know, as well as internationally. The idea is to build that bridge between men and themselves and people that love them, right? So we're trying to create a safe space or an environment where men feel a little bit better to talk about stuff that we normally would suppress. Because for years, we normally been taught to condition how we feel. And one of the things you mentioned is how things have changed. One of the things that we found is that a lot of men have not changed. So we live in a world where everything else around us is changing except on it.
But change is feeling that I'm feeling.
See,
Oh, Jala.
Yeah.
Nah, I just wondering what.
You listen to she too?
I teach you how to sing. I taught her. You watching a lecturer here. You understand what I'm saying? Vocal coach.
Yeah,
but you know, I just sing a little 1-2 tune, and I just wondering, let's say break the ice. What's a song that puts you in a good mood or makes you feel better?
When I think music, boy, I think frequency, you know, I'll be honest with you. So I'm more of a frequency kind of, you know, 432 hertz. Might be kind of high.
Whoa, boy.
Yes, but I think
He does mash up window and thing.
Yeah. So the reason why frequency for me is more of a thing because I think the mental health is something that we have to connect to the same music that you will listen to. So sometimes you listen to music and remember that same song forever. And always the frequency of the song that will keep you in that space. So I try to get to the source. And I think the source of all that is just the frequency.
Yeah. Nice.
So no song in particular.
Just the frequency.
Just the frequency.
What is up there? Was he hertz again?
432.
432. I'll have to look
Check
that
it
up.
up. Check it.
Yeah.
Look it up.
I mean, you're obviously a man. You take good care of yourself. You
That's
obviously
right.
go to the gym. You have fresh mark on the bed and thing.
I am
What is? Oh, you just do it yourself?
Yeah, I do.
Oh, nice. What would you say is one of the most underrated self-care habits for men? It could be physical, it could be mental, any sort of self-care.
I think you could think of both, man. I mean, there's a connection between the physical health and the mental health.
For
right?
sure.
Things like from brain fog and that kind of stuff. I mean, we try to separate the two, but they are so connected because one goes hand in hand, right? Like normally if you feel better, you know, people talk about it, if you look good, you feel good.
Yeah.
Well, that's one aspect of it. But then also a lot of the stuff that you do comes from the mindset. So like if you have a mindset and you don't want to do anything, you're kind of lazy about it.
Yeah.
So the mindset is also important. So the goal is to bridge that, both physical and mental, because you perform better, you know?
So it's not just about having a clean environment around you, but also a clean environment up here
I
mentally.
mean, we manifest all these things, but where does that come from, right? It comes from the mind.
Yeah.
So I think the environment that we create on the outside actually comes from what we attract because of what we have on the inside.
Yeah.
So that's why mental health, when we talk about men and mental health, a lot of men are going through stuff mentally and the environments kind of look like it without it looking like it, you know, like they kind of put themselves in places where they might not be because poor decision making.
Yeah.
Yes, and all those things are connected that we don't really talk about as much, but that is where when you have a mindset to succeed, right, or to be successful in your career, you plan, you have a strategy, you take your time, you put yourself in a position to align with that success.
Yeah.
Same thing when it comes to life. Same thing.
I like that. I like that. So what is something that you would have done to make sure things are aligned for you or help you in success? All right, what is a goal that you had set and you ensure that you got there while keeping your mental intact?
I think for me, I had to choose the environment I wanted to be in, right? Things like getting a mentor, that kind of stuff, used to help me a lot because then they put you in an environment where you want to learn from these people, right? So you have like a mentorship, which we don't have much of, which we could talk about later. So mentally, I had to be in the mindset to, one, be open-minded enough to listen to people who've done it before. And then when it comes to putting yourself in an environment, that's alignment. So when we go around people, like you might have a big dream and you about people that are not supporting you. That's not the right alignment.
Yeah.
But if you're around people who say, hey, listen, I've done this before. These are the things you went through before. And strange enough that same alignment and that mental health thing goes all the way back when we had elders. We had elders in the community. And the elders used to be the one that used to help us with the mental health because they would say, hey, I've been here before. Let me show you what not to do.
Yeah.
Understand? So
Nice. I appreciate the insight. So earlier I would have said that you help create spaces, and I even made mention of it being June and it's Men's Mental Health Awareness Month. Why do you see the importance for it to have a month?
it should be every month, huh?
Should be every month.
Right?
Mhm.
I mean,
day.
if you think about the way how it is now, especially in our country, and this is where most of the focus is. The focus is in fact that a lot of stuff that happens in Trinidad and Tobago happens to men. So when we say June, that's international. I get that. We say November is international
Yeah.
stuff. But it should be a local effort. And it should be an effort that happens every month. Now, the reason why we try to utilize the fact that June is Mental Health Month, because most people will be aware of it. So now we have to now build on the momentum of that into the other months and really get the men to understand, hey, listen, there's a lot of stuff we have to do and it's not going to happen in a month. But it is a good start. So I don't ever like to say, okay, when it doesn't make sense or, it's not enough. I just say, okay, how could we build off of this month? And I think so far we've done a better job. Every year we've done more to create the awareness, but most importantly, create the action behind the awareness.
I like that. So what does it mean for you though? Men's mental health. Like
Me?
Yeah.
It means a lot less hopeless men. It means a lot more effective communication. It means a lot more men living. Like, you know what I mean? It also puts a lot more stress on the fact that the things that us men deal with, that we men deal with, we have been conditioned to learn how to just suppress.
Yeah.
And the only thing that we end up seeing is an explosion.
Facts.
Right? And then when we see the explosion, then there's judgment that comes with the explosion. So how do we change that? Changing that could be creating a safe space for ourselves, support from the family members that are around us, them understanding that it's listen to hear and understand and listen to fix or correct. So those are all things that I think you could benefit from knowing about Men's Mental Health Awareness Month. But one of the other drivers is we need to now have more conversation that is consistent. And this doesn't last for the month of June or the month of November. And that's one of the things I've been trying to work on a lot, where it becomes it doesn't happen just in June.
Yeah.
Right? Now, more
365
people
are we looking for?
Yeah, because, but just based on what's happening here, we need it.
Yeah.
In a place that might not need it, I can understand what you just do in June or November. But in a place like here where every month is the same type of statistics,
Yeah.
why would you only pick June? So that the aim is to keep it a consistent conversation that people could gravitate towards and have on a regular basis, because the issues that we're facing from the lack of mental health is on a regular basis.
A lot of people don't even believe in mental health, especially men. I think it's more prevalent among the older folks now, where they don't believe really in mental health. How important was it for you to start changing that narrative?
Well, one of the things that actually helped me, and I was already in the process of doing advocacy stuff, is that, and this is something I would share with you guys because I think the space has been good enough to share these things.
We appreciate it.
When I started doing it, I actually had a conversation with my dad at home, and it's one of those conversations, to
Can you share with us how long ago that would have been?
This would have been about 2.5 years ago, 3 years ago.
All right, lovely.
I was already in the process. I was doing it internationally. I was
Yeah.
doing it up the Caribbean. I had some stuff in Jamaica. There's a whole bunch of stuff we were doing. And I came home and had a conversation with my dad, and it turned into an argument / discussion.
Heated.
Yeah.
And in the discussion, he said to me, you're out there doing all these things for all these men. What about me? You know what I'm saying? And when he said that, it made me shift.
I
the way
literally
that I
get
tell
chills.
stuff.
I literally get
Listen,
chills from that. Yeah.
I can repeat this 100
Yeah.
times and I get the same feeling. Because when he said that, it made me understand. So my dad needed it. I like it and I'm in it. And my son will want it as he gets
Yeah.
older. So it made me change the way I was dealing with stuff because I realized that a lot of the older generation, they just didn't have the tools,
Yeah.
right? So why not try to provide the tools to them as well as the future men? And that's why I've been so passionate about it because it literally hit home for real, for real.
Yeah.
You know, like to hear your own father say, well, what about me? And that is
Yeah.
like talking about a man who
I like that.
don't cry in front of you, a man who all you do is argue and stay quiet.
Buff up.
You understand? So when you hear something like that, it really gives me more purpose and more drive.
Anger
That
is really
hit
one of
really
the
hard.
Yeah, anger is really one of the easiest
Yeah.
emotions to
It's the only
express,
one
you
we
know.
can see, it's the only one we
Yeah.
know, right?
That hit really hard because we were talking a bit before this, and I was telling you, like, I'm now trying to get to advocate more for mental health, but I would have no problems setting up my phone and recording it and posting it online. But the people closest to me who probably need it the most, I don't really,
Share
take
with
it
them.
on like that. So that
Interesting.
hit really hard just now.
Yeah, when you said that to me, it changed the way I looked at stuff because, like, okay, like it's all about you could go on the phone and post. My father ain't going on no phone,
Yeah.
like to post nothing, and all they knew was to perform.
Yeah.
So we have these ideals as, protect, provide, perform. And when you can't perform, what do you do? Get angry?
Yeah.
If you can't protect, you get angry. If you can't provide,
Yeah.
pressure.
I like what I'm hearing because I was wondering, what can you say to us or the people looking on, of course? How do we take awareness to real action? Because you spoke earlier or just a few minutes ago about tools.
Yeah.
So what these tools looking like? How are you making it actionable?
Well, the tools would normally just be stuff that you could use to apply to something else, right? So, like if you have a toolbox, you need a hammer, you need a wrench, screwdriver, for particular things. We tend to direct our conversation about mental health from the madman, right? You going through some issues, but you mad or you off.
Yeah.
So we don't
Then
ever
shaking.
we don't ever pull back the veil a little bit and say, okay, well, before he got to be the madman, he was a man. Right? What got him to the point of being? Because there are levels to life in general, right? What got him to that point? I had a conversation in a school recently, and when I asked them, I said, "Well, the guy who buy the shop, who you consider a madman, what was he before that?" And they were like, "Well, a man, sir." I said, "And before he was a man, what was he? He was a young man." I said, "Who provided the tools for him in terms of emotional intelligence, conflict resolution, right?"
I like the topics I hear in here.
Your girlfriend break up with you. How you dealing with it?
Oh, my brother.
But what, yes, you're right.
They're looking too good now.
But then we tie that also into culture, right? We have the macho man culture. Now, when I talk about it, some people, might not agree or disagree or whatever. But we have a culture that we don't have to find tools for that cult.
Yeah.
Because it makes us different as Caribbean people, right? So some of the tools would be learning stuff like emotional intelligence. You're not gonna learn that in school, right? If you're a provider and you don't learn financial literacy,
Yeah.
when it's time to provide, if you don't have the money,
Yeah.
right? When we look about physical health, that's also another thing, right? Like let's say from the protector standpoint, right? And a lot of it is also based around the conversation that is consistently spoken about and not thrown the other way or only selective outrage when something happens. Because we tend to demonize the men quick,
Yeah.
right? We never ask what happened,
How they reached that point.
how they reached
yeah.
that point. And if you look at how it is now, when something happens with our men, they get thrown into
Yeah.
either incarcerated or the madhouse. So we never understand why things happen. So we need to have a bit more research.
Yeah.
We need to go a little bit deeper and say, hey, what happened there? What was the environment like?
The gal and them.
Sometimes it's a girl in there.
Nah, the gal and them sure.
Could be a hot topic, but what about that? Okay, how do you regulate that emotion? Are they teaching that in schools? They're not teaching that in schools. So that's why people like me will come out and do it. And that's why sometimes when people have opinions, I leave them with the opinion.
I want to share a bit about myself here as well.
Let's go.
Right? So what you all may not know, and what you all may not know, but some do know, is that I am actually part of a mentorship program as well. It's called Rites of Passage, Boys to Men. So we deal with some of those same topics. When I said conflict resolution, we deal about the role of the man in the family. What again? Our watchwords is discipline, determination, and dedication, and what those words should mean to you as an individual trying to better yourself in life. So I hear all these things, and everything is resonated. I really like when my life comes like full circle. Yeah, I really appreciate that. It says a lot to me. And as much as I said jokingly, it's the gal and them, sometimes the onus is on men as well to make certain choices.
Yeah.
To know if this person behavior really suits your lifestyle or your mental state or what you want for a
And
partner.
like he was talking about alignment just now. People
Yeah.
also align.
Well, let me bring you back a little bit. And this will be a little strange thing.
Tell me.
Let me bring it back to you. You just said that you're part of a mentorship group, right? And I will say to you, I appreciate you. We don't say we appreciate each other. We don't say we're proud of each other. We skip past it. So you went on after the girl them. But I was listening to what you say about you being a part of the community to help the young men and the men. But nobody tells you thanks.
I appreciate that, my God.
I'm
but
telling you.
Thank you as well.
But I'll
man.
tell you why. This is why us as men, we don't really focus on those type of things as much because in our mind, we say nobody will say thanks.
I
You
feel
have a
you.
few of us that do, right? But we don't say those things. So what I do personally is like when you say that story, I will cut you or I will let you go and come back and revisit the fact that, listen, what you're doing is actually very, very, very good for your community because you're looking to leave an impact. Right? So that's why I went back.
Alright.
Because we don't have that one through it, right?
God.
It's okay.
No, that dropped my moment.
So I wanted to take it back to that because we don't talk about that enough, right? We don't talk about that. We don't place as much value on that. And that is something that I think we have to do more of so that more men will see, hey, listen, I can do that too.
Correct.
Yeah.
You know, especially in that space because it is much, much needed.
That was a beautiful moment. When was the last time another man say that he's proud of you or say thanks for what you do?
I wanna be honest with you. I appreciate the words that Garth would have just said. As someone that we've just recently met, it means something.
Yeah.
But I really have surrounded myself with, like, as he said earlier, with like-minded men
Right.
that would, like, I mean, social media,
Yeah.
you just spoke about it. I would get a random reel. You understand?
Yeah.
You know the reasons go, share this reel with some
Oh, you
brother
wanna-
that you know is
Yeah.
doing the work and
Yeah.
tell him you're proud of him. I'll get those reels, you understand? So that's a mad felt. Brothers in my circle,
That's
my whole
nice.
boys to men circle, some fellas from my comedy circle, my brother in Cuba, Lord, big up yourself, love and blessings, and we just share. We just share and we really have this. And I know for a fact, it's one of the reasons why my mental health is in a good place. Is in a good place. I do a lot to unwind. I do a lot to just defrost
Yeah.
and not keep things pent up. I don't hesitate to share. And I left my family group chat because when I share with them in study me.
Yeah.
And I say, Mommy, I said something to you all and all, they just disregard it. And I didn't like that. And I felt like this space, as I said, not acknowledging me. And I'm not afraid. So I real sorry.
Yeah.
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 And I like that example too because like as a man, there's things that we have looked at and said they wouldn't say this or they don't do this. And I like that example. I have the same example. I'm driving in Texas. Every time I call them on something. Or every time we have the phone, we have the phone just like it was a normal day. Like tomorrow, you short to see. So I call. I say, hey, family meeting. The little family meeting. I say, when we come over the phone, everybody says, I love you. And if I have my dad saying it on the phone, because sometimes I think we overlook the fact that we can make a difference. You understand? So like for me and like for you,
Watch your man in the
align
mirror.
yourself somewhere where you could get back that what you're looking for. I decided that I will make the difference. So from now on, when you call me and we come off the phone, we say I love you at the end because that's now the expectation.
Yeah.
You're never too old to learn anything, right? And that is one of the things I think we kind of like to say we stuck in our ways type of thing. But once you're here on earth, you can make a difference. You can make a change. So I like what you did. And that was the way that helped you. And that's why you're like this now. That's why you can talk openly about mental health. Joking about it is not always a bad thing. I sometimes go at the entertainers. Because there has to be a harmony. And I don't believe in balance. There's either more of this or less of this. So there has to be a harmony in life. The jokes is good, but you have to find now the space after the joke to say, hey, let's talk about this.
Yeah.
Because then you've lightened the mood. But you see, we lighten the mood and then we just go on to something else. So when something serious comes on, they're not looking at you. And that's why I said I was glad that you were part of this conversation because I paid attention to what you do. And just the fact that you say that, I want to say thank you because, yes, you might say, well, I don't need that thanks. Well, yeah, you actually do.
Yeah, of course.
You know, because you're looking to make a difference and somebody's learning from what you did. And that one impact is better than having a stadium full of people that don't listen to you.
Yeah.
I love that. So, so I spoke about mentorship that I would do. What about yourself?
Yeah.
You said earlier that we could get to that point.
Yeah, so the month of June and November are two huge months for me. November being International Men's Day, and then also Men's Health Month. Right? I think
November
we
the
mix it up.
19th.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So we mix it up sometimes, but whatever, right? I do a lot of online workshops. I visit the schools. I have some stuff under the radar for now, but later on, I'll maybe put out a little bit more about it. But the idea is just to be consistent with the conversation. So like social media, consistency. I'm on there all the time. I've been doing this for a long time. Internationally recognized for men and boys advocacy as well as in Trinidad and Tobago and the Caribbean.
Nice.
Because I feel as though we sometimes have a way that we look at certain things. And I think we had a conversation earlier where they say, well, like the influencer is the influencer and then the advocate is the advocate. One gets paid, one gets the volunteer. So I decided to become both.
Yeah.
So I want to be the influencer in a certain area, but when it comes to that, because now we have to make that popular. You have to make that something that people want to gravitate towards having a conversation with. As well as the advocate who's saying, listen, if nobody's speaking up for you, I will start the conversation.
Yeah.
I feel you. I
Yes,
feel
sir.
the same like how the whole organic food thing is now a thing. Everybody want to be healthier or cleaner. All the 5Ks. We have
All
to,
the 5Ks.
Yeah, we have to get the
Oh.
mental health thing for men in the same space.
Well, let me touch on that quick.
Right.
5K thing. I have no issue with the fact that there is a 5K. My recommendation is the 5K should come with other things.
Yeah.
The 5K should come with nutrition advice. The 5K
Yeah.
should come with what you do after the 5K is over. The 5K should come not just prep or pre, but post 5K.
Yeah.
Right? Create
We
an
are
environment.
together.
No, because we look at these things and we say, oh, this makes sense for now. But you don't want those things that are supposed to be healthy turn into an event and that's it.
Yeah.
It needs to be something that people could learn, and we have to educate and entertain at the same time in Trinidad. Because that's what our culture is about. I'm okay with that.
I feel you.
But the 5K should have more substance, not just a medal. But they
Yeah.
should have things where there's conversation, there's lectures, there's that kind of stuff. Because you know why? You're already attracting the people.
Yeah.
Why not add something?
Yeah.
Why
They
not just
have
say,
a platform.
why
Yeah.
not just put something else there? And then the people who leave there now could not just be the 5K runners, but they could also be looking at it from, okay, now this is a all year round thing, like June mental health.
Correct.
Men's mental health should be all the way through.
Yeah.
All right. So you just identified some things that could possibly make the whole 5K fraternity better.
Simple
5K
example.
Enhance it.
fraternity, love that.
Yeah. Yeah. How can we as men identify what some of the pressures that we are carrying then?
We need support groups. We need communities. We talked about community and we talked about elders recently. And if you look at it now, and I'll go to the point of young men and men. When we look at how men would have grown up, that young men stage, that's it from before, they would have had homes, they would have had communities, they would have had mentors or elders, they would have had school. In today's world, we have homes and school. We lack community, which would have male mentors in it, which is support. So I think we have to find ways to bring back community. Most people don't even know who their neighbor is. There's no man in the group who's a teacher how to ride a bike,
Facts,
right?
boy.
There's no man, like for me, it was for fitness. I was big into fitness all the time, playing football, organic. And there was a guy that was living on the block and he was a bodybuilder. Now, I don't want to be a bodybuilder,
Yeah.
but I wanted to learn.
To get active.
And when I was outside, I would talk to him. So
Yeah.
he became an elder that would help me to get directed. Now we don't have those things. So when we complain about things
It's
like
true.
social media,
Yeah.
No, it's true.
the conversation is there because there's two pieces missing of that plan. So if we insert community and elders and mentorship, where there's no male mentorship either. There's none,
Yeah.
right? So when we insert those two things now, we get the young men to have the levels that they need to get to become men by giving them the tools that they need. Back to what we were talking about with the tools. Those are also tools.
Yeah.
So you see, I don't like to just point out what the problem is. Because for me, the solution is inside of the problem.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All the time,
Yeah.
without fail.
No, because here in Lion, the first hike I ever went on was a family friend, so to speak, a guy from the community. His house was behind my grandmother's property. Steen, bring up my boy Steen, carried me and my cousin on a hike. We walk up the mountain, we double back, and it was our vibes. And he really kept us engaged in a physical way. We had mama guy and myself. Everybody's like 6, 7. and we lifting weights. We had some, them wrongs you had the sea drink crates. Sea drink, you call it.
Sea drink.
Yeah, you understand? Them kind of thing with a pour and you're
Yeah.
lifting it and this kind of stuff.
We don't have none of those things. So when we talk about the young men going towards social media, it's like we demonizing the thing that the only thing that they have.
Yeah.
So now we have to utilize that same thing to now create the environment that we want for them by giving them those same things. So when they scroll, they can scroll it. So we know how the algorithm works.
Correct.
If they scroll on your stuff for your mentorship stuff, they'll scroll on yours for your flips, right?
Yeah.
And your men's mental health and plus physical health. But they scroll on my stuff, the algorithm will feed them.
Yeah.
Correct.
Yeah.
So after a while, regardless of if they want to or not,
They're going to be
coming
there.
up. So now they have another option.
Yeah.
Understand?
And it just can't just be one person either. It have to be multiple people
Collective.
addressing the same things.
Well, this is where the community came in,
Yeah.
right? This is where the community is because, I mean, I remember, walking up the street from school, and by the time I come home, I hear, what happened? They had no maxi working? And I was like, they had no maxi at all? Like, really? So-and-so see you walking up the street. That
What
why
school
you're
though?
late? I
That's
went
random. Eldo?
So I walking up the 5 hours.
Alright, big up Eldo.
Big up Eldo Brown.
Which Eldo? I know gonna ask
Big
this
up
one.
Eldo Brown.
Alright, say no
But if you
more.
bring up Eldo Brown, bring up a remote umbrella. That's it, right? That's the football school. That's
I thought it was good. Say no more. Alright, football is something people might do to better themselves or take their mind off of things. What are some daily activities people can do to better their mental health?
Find some time alone.
Just alone time? Like,
Find some time alone
Solace?
to start the day.
I love that.
So we don't focus. We get up and go, right? Because
Yeah.
we're attached to performance.
correct.
Yeah.
Protect, provide, perform.
That's how they rate men too.
Like I said. So when we get up, now the thing is that we don't talk about it, but it actually enhances the performance. When you wake up, there's something called mindfulness. You slow down the day, start your day that way. No phone, no nothing. You spend some time alone, right? We continue to feel as though men don't like to spend time alone, but it is necessary. Once you get into the point where you have mindfulness and you can now slow your day down and start it the way you want to, the rest of the day is free.
Yeah.
Nice.
The rest of the day just falls into place because now your alignment starts with your mind. You're aligned. Men will say go yoga and all these other things. If you don't want to, you don't have to. This is what I keep telling people. It's okay to not.
We have yoga here.
Yeah.
Yeah, we have yoga, we have Pilates here. But this is something that you could do and you could do it on your own. And most people who say they can't do it, they don't have a time problem, they have a scheduling problem.
Yeah.
Okay.
Because when you get up, the first thing you could do is find that time. It could be 5 to 10 minutes. It doesn't matter.
I've said this to people before.
Yeah, and-
I don't know time. I said, bro, 10 minutes before you go to sleep, just do it.
It's a scheduling thing.
Yeah,
Because we
just do it.
schedule everything else. So I think one of the things will be more mindfulness, right? In terms of you. Control the mindset from the beginning. You don't have to go nowhere. You don't have to do what's that thing, that dog pose. You don't have to do all them kind of weird thing. You know,
Done what dog?
yeah, you
Something
don't
so?
know what
Yeah.
it is. You don't do all the things. You can just sit quietly. Because if you realize something, the way how the day starts is the day keeps compounding, right? And I have this analogy that I talk to a lot of some clients and some schools about. When you wake up in the morning, let's say you were up early and you go outside, you hear birds, right? After you hear the birds sing, a couple of hours after that, you hear like a car pass. And then you hear people start to walk or they're going to school. And then you hear music. The birds will never stop singing then.
Yeah.
It's just that they're adding stuff onto your
Yeah.
day.
Correct.
So the time when the birds singing is when you should be up saying, okay, let me clear my mind. Because you know for sure it's an Instagram post, it's a WhatsApp, there's somebody texting you, hey boy, we talked about this yesterday. So that is one of the things I think we fail to realize as men, that we could take our time back and focus on when we now get up. Give some thanks, and mindfulness is one of the main things that we have to practice.
Yeah.
All right. What is something that has surprised you the most with doing the work that you do currently?
I would say what has surprised me the most would be the young men and their inability.
I don't want to ask if it's a good surprise or a bad surprise.
Oh,
you know.
it's a good surprise and a bad surprise.
Okay.
The bad surprise there would come from the fact that it's an inability to understand who they are as themselves.
Yeah.
Right? Because now everybody's trying to be somebody else. So we've lost the individuality, right? So when we look at it, that's the bad part. The good part is that they're open-minded enough to want to learn.
Yeah.
And this is why sometimes I think when we focus on stuff, like if you focus, they talk about if you're pushing the door and the door not opening, maybe you can pull the door.
Correct.
My goal is to focus on the young men because the young men are still at an age where they're still structured with school and these type of things.
Yeah.
We need to get in there and have that conversation because those young men are going to be what in the future?
Men.
They're going to be men.
Correct.
So they're going to be same men that we're talking about.
Yeah.
So if those are going to be future men, we have to put stuff into place so that they can now understand, hey, here are the tools that you need to do. I asked a guy in a real world context. I asked a guy, I said, what is something that you think you have as a tool to navigate life when you leave this school? And he said education. And I said, okay, that's a good tool. I said, but what about dealing with problems that come? What about life problems?
Yeah.
Right? And he said, well, so we already talked about them can't sing it. I said, okay. I said, but what's the phrase that we normally use for men when they come out into the working world? What's the phrase? He's like, I don't know. I was like, well, if you don't have a map to somewhere, what you have to do? He said, I have to figure it out. I said, is that what you want? You want to figure it out? You want to just figure it out? So that means how many ways you will go that be the wrong place?
Yeah.
I said, wouldn't you like to have the tools to understand, hey, at least I know somewhere where I'm going and how to get there?
A semblance of a pathway.
But you see, this is the thing. We blame and judge and demonize men without going back and say, as a young man, did anybody provide the tools for him?
I think we live in a real weird time right now where a lot of the younger people my age and stuff, they getting into self-improvement, and it have a lot of influencers that talk about self-improvement and becoming your best self. But then when you actually look at the content, is just a matter of go to the gym, look smacks, make sure you're looking handsome for the girls and them, and and that's it. Like almost none of them just talk about
the manosphere is one of those things.
Sorry?
Manosphere.
Yeah.
So manosphere looks maxing.
Yeah.
Yeah. And why are they going there? Where else they could go?
Yeah, where else they could go? But then, you know, you're encouraging people to change their life and be better, but then you're not addressing or teaching them how to address the mental side of things, which is what would inevitably cause you to fall at the end of the day.
Because the pressure that you get is also mental.
Yeah.
What I'm going to add to is that they can only teach what they know.
Yeah.
So they themselves may be lacking what is needed to give more.
And this is why you say they have no real good mentors for men, because...
Well, you don't have that because a lot of them don't have time. Let's just think about it. A lot of them don't have time. A lot of them don't have the tools either because who taught them, right? Like I was saying, we should give our fathers a lot of leeway because they only took us as far as they could go, right? That's all they knew. And a lot of them came from homes where they didn't have that affection or they didn't have that communication. So
and that is something I have learned and will continue learning with my dad, with my father, being honest.
Yeah.
Because he only knew so much that some things I felt like he did wrong with me.
Yeah.
Like for me, if my father had spoken to me a bit more, because I'm one for talking, you could speak to me and I would understand. If I give an explanation, I understand why you want me to do something, I'm more susceptible to do it.
Yeah, because you know the why.
You understand? Yes, it makes it easier as opposed to just do that or just do this. And you're telling me not to do something that I'm seeing you doing. So for me, vulnerability is a real thing. And I'm going to be honest here, I'm going to talk about business a bit. One of those things in my youth was gambling. Right? With my cousins and them picked up gambling. It was just the fun thing, it was the in thing. Everybody else doing it. So I fell in that circle. And I had uncles doing the same thing, godfathers and my father, right? But whenever my father come down the road and see me doing that, I getting sent home, I getting run off the block. And I'm already 18, 19, 20. I'm a grown adult. Being real, I 14, right? But respect is respect, I'm under your house. And I was never the one to be like, I don't care what you tell me. I don't have that to me. That is not me. But I believe that if he was a bit more vulnerable to say, the reason why I do this because it affected me. You have no idea how it has affected me and even raising you and you're not getting certain things that you would have wanted, even beyond your needs, right? I just felt like if fathers, men, I'll be honest too.
I love that you shared that, so thanks for sharing that. The conversation that I'm having now is tied exactly. I love the fact you said that. The conversation I'm having now is this. If my father came to me and I saw what he was dealing with, to a pointer, you know how it is, right?
Yeah. A child would have to stay in a child's place.
Yeah. I mean, and that's okay. Right? That's some sort of respect, I guess, right? If he came to me and he said something next to me, and I've discussed this before, openly, I would now kind of understand, but I would also pattern the way I deal with my son. And if my son sees me doing that with him, he will do it, pattern it as we go.
Correct.
But one of the things that we keep forgetting, and even up to now, is that at the end of the day, we are all human.
Facts.
We are all human. So which means there's a range of emotions. We learn, we pick up, we drop, we do all these things. So if you see it happening, we're conditioning in the right way. Because like you said, you now come and have that conversation. When you have your son, if you have any kids or whatever, you now have to pass that on and have that conversation. Because there are different stages that we've been through because of different generations. And again, how did he grow up?
Correct.
So he's teaching you how he know best to teach you. That's why I said one of the things you talk about there is communication, but one of the things that we have to talk about is grace. We have to give them grace.
Facts.
Yeah.
Right? And that's why when is the last time you tell your father thanks for something? Because he's supposed to do it anyhow. So when you stop and you tell him thanks, you're breaking on this little wall. And then he might come to you and say, hey, listen, you need so and so, so and so. And then you build the communication. But that comes with grace.
Yeah.
See, we love to look at the people that are teaching us stuff, and they're teaching them like if they know what's to come. No, they know what they learn from.
Yeah. Yeah.
And we now have to pick up from what they learn from, like the tools, and apply it to what we do, and then we pass that on.
So you just talk about grace in terms of giving your elders grace. How about giving yourself grace sometimes?
Self-care. That is self-care. We have to understand when to hit the pause and reset button. And I think what happens, and I keep telling you that the three labels that we have as men is what really does us in a bad way. The protect, provide, perform.
Yeah.
Right? And once we don't understand how, you ever heard that saying about you can't pour from an empty cup?
Yeah. Yeah.
So how we can have this saying you can't pour from an empty cup, but yet still we drain ourselves as men to provide for people all the time.
And keep trying to pour.
And not ourselves.
nothing-
Not me, you know.
Right? Exactly. So that is a form of self-care. Understanding when you need to hit pause and then maybe reset.
Or just tell them no.
Well, tell them no,
No.
is resetting.
Yeah.
Because now you're setting the expectation of what's to come, right? So and that's one of the things, like we don't pay attention. And that's why I said the more conversations we have is the more people say, oh, you know what, that makes sense.
Yeah.
And we can't hear from people who want to give us a bunch of terms.
Yeah.
We want to hear from relatable people. We want to hear from conversations and experience. Like your dad experience, I can relate to you. Guess what? You and I now align when it comes to the mindset pathway, because that makes sense to me. So when you tell me about a term and a term and a term and a term and a term,
Yeah.
when I go to schools, I don't wear jacket. I go just how I am.
Yeah.
And they come after and say, sir, I want to ask you a question. I know I make an impact, even if it's two of them.
Yeah.
Understand? So that is part of it. We have to take ourselves and say, hey, I need to reset.
And
And not feel bad about it.
Yeah. And I like that you're breaking up a lot of the problems. Well, you say most of the problems that men will go through into three titles.
Yeah. Provide, protect, and perform.
Provide, protect, and perform. And
PPP.
yeah. So
Not OP.
so being a young man myself, I'm 24 now. I think a lot of young men struggle with the fact that I guess I would say that is their life. The only things that they have to work towards now is to be someone who could provide, perform, and protect, right? So what would you say to a young man like myself who is feeling that pressure now to where, I don't feel like I'm capable of doing these things right now, but I know inevitably that is what I have to become. And it puts a lot of pressure on me and it makes me a little sad sometimes. What would you say to a young man like myself in that case?
I'll tell you, it's okay, and it's very cliche. It's okay to not be
Perfect.
Yeah.
It's okay to not be okay. We put a lot of pressure on ourselves because that's all that we've been taught to do.
Yeah.
But we also talked earlier about the world changing around us. So why are we the dinosaurs?
Yeah.
Oh.
Why is it that everything around us is changing? People are taking care of themselves, the kids are doing this, the kids are doing that, and the men are like, go, 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 go.
Yeah.
We have to find things we have to do the research, we have to have a conversation, or we have to find ways to make ourselves perform at the highest of our ability. We have to find ways to do that. To provide, we have to learn financial literacy.
Yeah.
To protect, sometimes maybe just going to the gym
Yeah.
or taking care of your health.
So what you're saying is go and get my FUL.
Yes, go and give it.
All right, say no more.
Go right away.
Say no more. Yeah. Say
Right? But I say, I mean, like you have to think about it like this. The world is changing. The world is changing. We can't continue to go on this ideal of what a man was in 1906 in 2026. We can't. We have to find different ways to make sure that we perform better.
Yeah.
But then again, that decides what you think a man is to you,
True.
right? Because to each individual, what a man is
Yeah.
going to be totally
Different.
different.
Not everybody would look at it as provide, protect, perform.
Yeah. But society tells us that, so that's what we kind
Yeah.
of go into. So okay, if you want to follow that, how about we be the best at it?
Yeah.
And by being the best at it, we have to be the best selves.
Yeah.
So mentally,
Yeah.
physically,
Because in order to perform, you need to reset and recover.
all the time.
Yeah. In order to provide, you need to.
You put gas in your car when you run out.
Yeah.
You charge your electric car.
Yeah.
So what? I don't understand.
Yeah.
And that's why most of my conversations are basic, pull the veil back, connect the dots conversation. Because sometimes we overcomplicate the problem and not realizing that in the problem, the solution is
Yeah.
right there.
Yeah. Yeah.
So I like that, right? Now, I'm a very open person. Like I shared with you just now about my father. I shared with the whole internet. You understand? But how can a man who's not accustomed opening up and being vulnerable, how do they start that? I mean, how do they begin to do something of that nature?
Where you plant seeds in the type of soil is where you will get what you plant to grow. We talk about alignments. A lot of us, and I say us, I'll include myself, have held on to old friendships that makes no sense. We've held on to old positions where we think about stuff that makes no sense for what we want to be. And we sometimes say we don't have support. But if we take an account of where we are and we look around, why are we still there?
Yeah. Yeah.
Is she not a friend for us drinking beers?
I mean, you could.
I
but
mean-
just for drinking beers.
Okay.
I'm saying that if you realize this is a mental health, because we talk about mental health, we're talking about being on your best game, right? Game on.
Game on.
How can you be like that if you don't train properly, eat properly, sleep
Yeah.
properly, take care of yourself properly? What will happen to you? Or what kind of game you will have? Same thing in life. We have to align ourselves with people who are like-minded. And this is why I said mentorship in communities was kind of like aligning yourself with people who are like-minded. There is always a flip side to stuff. So when a man comes to me and I have a conversation with him, and I try to tell him as respectfully as I can, I ask him, I said, are you benefiting from the environment that you're in?
Oh.
And if he says no, now I want to know why.
Yeah.
And I want to know why you're still there. It's a conversation we don't want to have as much because it could make us seem self-centered or
Yeah.
selfish. But again, how can we pour from an empty cup?
Yeah. But I think. Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
All right, sure. Because I like what I'm hearing, right? Because initially when we started the conversation, you spoke about you or I being the person to make things change. I mean, like us here being that person, it starts with us, right? To change the dynamic. So, to the person right now watching, probably want to start being that person and making a change. What would be a question to ask our brethren? I mean, I pull up to my boy Sharifi and I was like, boy, is everything cool? And he just like, general answer, let us go. Yeah, I cool.
Yeah, I good.
Yeah, but
Chilling.
what is some of the questions to really ask, to know if your brethren are really there, if you really want to start being that kind of person?
If I ask you, you good?
Yeah,
What you'll say?
yeah.
End of conversation. If I ask you how you feeling,
I just did cool.
you cool?
Yeah.
All right, and I could expand a little bit on the conversation. So we have to watch the words that we use when you're having the initial conversation. But to add that and answer the question you're talking about, like, how does a man come out of this conditioning? He has to want to come out of it. He has to be aware of himself to understand, hey, this is not helping,
Okay.
right? We do not have to stay the same that we were. I told you we're like dinosaurs now.
Yeah.
Everybody changing, and we becoming fossils.
I like that.
I'm telling you.
Fun inside of there, no?
Because-
Being dinosaurs and fossil fuel as a man.
But we becoming,
Yeah.
they becoming exactly what they're saying that we are in the past,
Yeah.
presently. How does that make sense? How does it make sense?
So reversing backwards.
So we have no choice.
Yeah, reverse
We have
back.
no choice as a man to change for the betterment of us, which initially will help our family and our friends, our
Offspring.
communities, our
Yeah.
country. So when people say, hey, that's just how they are, and I dislike this conversation,
Oh
I call it,
God.
that's how it is.
I just me.
That's how it is. That's just me.
So the badness go.
I'm just saying that we continue to act like we don't have a choice.
Yeah. No, I think a lot of people, it's one thing to acknowledge that something needs to change, but it's a whole next thing to actually make the change. And I think one big thing that would hold a lot of people back is just fear of having to change so much things, leave that friend group or leave your job or something like that, well, how would you encourage somebody to make that change? If you know that change is necessary and fear is the only thing holding you back, how would you encourage somebody?
We talk about alignment, right? We talk about mentorship.
Mm-hmm.
Most times when we go to do something that we feel we have a lot of fear behind, we need some type of, I don't want to use the word validation, but we need somebody to say to us that we've done this before.
Yeah.
And when we have the conversation, we feel better. We say, okay, you know what? Thanks for the advice or thanks for the experience. Let's try to push it. So the fear is still there, but now you have a little more incentive because you know somebody who has done it.
Yeah.
Men often use isolation and say that is the recipe for success, when it actually is not.
Yeah.
Support, teamwork, alignment,
Ooh,
that is the recipe for success. Most people who become successful had good teams around them,
For sure, yeah.
and had support around them, and the rest of the world will tell you isolation is the price you pay for success, which is also a lie. So you have to look at mentors give you incentive. Motivation is temporary, but you may need that as well. So if you told somebody who said, I've been there before, again, back to mentorship or male mentorship that we don't have anymore, that fear, you can actually use that fear now or utilize that fear to push past those things and really try to get there. But again, it comes back to alignment, right? Because we either align with the right people or we isolated. And once we get isolated, who voice you hearing?
Yeah.
Yourself.
You're hearing
them dark
positives
thoughts.
or doubts.
Them dark
And
thoughts.
most time it's just doubts.
Isolation is one thing. I think every man could relate to isolation a little bit.
But it's come like there's a difference between lonely and alone.
Yeah.
So if we use an isolation, yes, to process stuff, I get that. But how long are we going to stay in isolation?
Yeah.
Are we not going to get further by ourselves? We can't.
No. You're right.
I never lonely, boy. I'm not a lonely guy.
I can see,
I'm thankful for
I
that.
can see that.
And I'm really thankful for that.
Alone is okay. And you should be, because you know what? A lot of people, when they get into that point and they say that they're lonely, that now attaches itself to frustration, depression, suicidal thoughts. Alone, the first thing in the morning when you get up, are you going to be lonely or alone? It puts you in a better mindset, mindfulness. So that's what I said. Sometimes we use some words in some contexts that they really don't fit.
I feel you. And I mean, of course, we are here at courts, so I need to put them in there in some form of factor, right? Courts is known for making people have beautiful homes, comfortable homes. And how does a comfortable home really add to mental wellness? Serenity.
Peace.
Feng shui and them kind of thing.
Feng shui. I mean, if you can spell it, I'll tell you what I know.
Fungsi. I think so. That's like fungusy or whatever.
But I think there was always this place where when we get home from work, right, we want to relax.
Yeah, boy.
So that's why I think when you think about it from that standpoint, if that's what home is peace.
Yeah.
So it is very important. Like for me, I want a bed, I want to sleep. Because that's the reset. But
sleeping is a reset?
That's my reset right away. Right away.
What do you feel about sleeping on the couch? You know that way? You and mama's full. I can never understand that, watching TV. You gonna sleep on the couch tonight? I really like the couch. I love our couch, yes. That what the TV was, yes?
See, we can have a next question added to that, but I'll leave that up. I'll leave it up for now. Yeah, there's a question I want to ask, but I'll leave it up for now. Next.
Cool. I don't see you going. Terrible. So how would you create a comfortable space or a comfortable home for yourself?
I think my biggest thing is, because I'm so involved with people on a daily basis, I just want it to be peaceful and quiet. I'm not a big, I think, and I made this joke a couple of times with some people that we talked to. I've moved so many places that now I've moved so far away from people because I deal with people all the time. So when I get home, it's like my little space.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like there's no noise, there's nobody something. I don't watch the TV as much like that, but to have
TV
a
for me
house
for
where
sure.
the couch and the bed and that kind of stuff, like a nice little seat, like little, those little, what do you call them? I mean, it's a recliner. I feel like that was something too old. But like a little sofa, right? I think
a lazy boy.
I think creating that environment at home is good also for mental health, because there's so much distractions, and we're so focused on so many things that being at home and being at peace is a good reset.
I feel like comfort is also a bit of a double-edged sword, because you could you can have comfort to rest and relax, but a lot of people now, especially young men, they get a little too comfortable at home.
We use it in the wrong context sometimes. That's why I said to you with the words. We're using the word comfort in the wrong context. Like people talk about being comfortable in a way where it means that they're rested.
Right.
But we use comfortable as you might get too comfortable, you're too lazy. So we have to look at how we utilize the words in different contexts.
Right.
But nothing is wrong with being comfortable.
Oh,
You
well,
have a car that you're uncomfortable in. You want to
yeah.
car, like
So now when I say the word comfort, I think I mean more like a lot of young men just becoming comfortable with the way things are now. You know,
Lazy, say lazy.
lazy. They're just becoming lazy, and then that laziness would increase their, the depression, the suicide rates, all these kind of things. What's your thoughts on that?
I think they need incentives, right? I think we all need incentives. Why set a goal if the goal is not an incentive?
Yeah.
So if you have people around you that are there to support you, then you wouldn't be comfortable in that context, right? You'll be motivated, you'll have incentive, right? And you'll have support. And that's why I said to you, we talk about men and all this, we talk more about isolation than aligning yourself with somebody.
Yeah.
We talk more about competition than collaboration. So you see, all those things are things that help to support you to get to where you want to.
Yeah.
So when you say comfortable, sometimes they feel comfortable because they feel as though they're isolated.
Yeah.
They feel as though, well, I don't have no way to help me, right? And sometimes it's not help they want, it's just a little bit of motivation.
All right, so I heard the word support, right? We're actually talking about comfort as well, being comfortable. So to the parents that might be looking on, family members, the wives, sometimes the women as well. So I'm going to talk to as well here. The question to you is this: what can they do to create a space, create a home that men and boys alike feel comfortable enough to open up or to talk to them, or let them know that, hey, right about now when I come home, I prefer things be like this, or I had a real tiring day, can I have some peace? That kind of way. Anything like that.
So I'll flip it on you.
Flip it.
So we talk about what they could do, right?
He's saying, yeah, flip and get glass.
So you flip it. You can talk about it, right? You can say, well, what it is that they could do to help us. But how could they help us if we don't tell them what we need? If we don't communicate what we need?
But how do I not understand
This
that?
is
Right?
a you thing again.
Yeah, I
So
understand,
realize
I understand that,
thing.
right? But I mean, as much as I might want to change as well, I need to know that the space is susceptible or willing to accept me and how I'm trying to change, right? Because you spoke about alignment.
But if they don't accept you,
You understand?
it's your choice.
Well, I mean, I live in it, right? We're in the same house. So I would like to believe that somebody here could learn something in knowing that how they could help make that space, or to let their partner know that, hey, you can't come to me.
So I'll go down that road with you,
All right.
just for the conversation. If we're looking at how people can support men and men's mental health, we have to learn how to listen, to understand, and not to fix or correct.
All right.
So wife, girlfriend, even kids. Like, it's just whoever's in that environment. And one of the things that we find in a lot is that when people share how they feel, especially when men share how they feel, they either think it will be used against them later on, or they think nobody cares because instead of me coming to you and having a conversation, you're trying to fix it. And I don't want you to fix it. I just want you to listen. So that's why I said to you, it does have a lot to do with them in terms of how we could say, well, we need the support, but we need support in what way? So that's why it also comes, and that's one thing that I do, even though I'm pushing the whole men's projects. The men's project also makes the men say, hey, you are also accountable. You mentioned that earlier, right?
Yeah.
You are also responsible to communicate effectively to the people that you have in your life because they don't know. They can't read your mind. And now when you do talk to them, that's when you decide if you want to open up or not.
Okay.
In most places, when you talk to them, they use it against you or they flip it, or they will kind of like try to tell you what to do. So it's no longer a conversation, it's more corrections. Those are the things that you have to learn. So that's why I talk to people now who have families, even young like mothers who have young men. When the guy just really opens up, that's his first example of opening up to a female, regardless of if it's your mother or not. So once you shut them down, guess what happens as he gets older? That's what he learned.
Correct.
He learned that when I talk to mommy, Instead of
They're
having
not
a
approachable.
conversation, she corrected me when I just wanted to tell her how I feel and tell her what happened. Understand?
Just get it out.
So it is twofold, and we can't not say it's not twofold because it has to do with communication within that support system, so they know what is expected of them, and you know how to effectively communicate to them what it is you need.
So,
I don't ever go one side, and I'll tell you why I don't go one side, because again we talk about human beings. We need each other.
Yeah.
And if you put it on them and then you don't get what you want, then you now say you're disappointed, you have resentment.
Yeah.
But if you didn't clearly communicate what it is you want, how am I supposed to know?
Yeah.
That's why I say it's a
Fair.
bridge.
It's true.
So it's not just up to the outside world to treat men better, but we also have to, as we were talking about earlier, treat ourselves better and
That's where
actually
it starts.
take that effort. And something we were talking about before this, which I just want to touch on real quick, we were talking about how when you post a message like this on social media or whatnot, it's mostly women that would respond to it and comment and repost and share. But you said you don't necessarily see that as a bad thing, you know? Can you explain a little bit why?
So I was also giving an example. If three of us walk into a room and we have on some nice smelling cologne, a woman gives us a compliment, we will go back and buy the same cologne.
Yeah.
I have a list.
That's
Yeah.
me too.
I have a list.
Right.
Come
so,
on.
So we also have to look at when we're growing up, who's our first influence in terms of from empathy side and who we look at our mothers. So we can't see it as if only women commenting because those women could influence the men of their lives.
Right.
So we look at it negatively because we say, well, men don't want to do this. But then, okay, well, are we creating stuff to appeal to men? Or are we creating stuff for the women to see the value of what we're creating so they can impart it on their men?
Yeah.
And actually ties into the question I was previously answered about creating the space as well.
So again,
So, yeah.
in his post or in my stuff, at the beginning when I started, I had 75% of my, when I look at my chart,
Yeah.
75% was
Just women.
78% was women, and the rest
Yeah.
was men. Now, after news for so much years, now you have 43 and you have 52.
Yeah.
Like you have,
So now it's womanizing.
Balance.
now,
I say
Come on,
balance.
brother. Come on, brother.
but now you find that the harmony comes with understanding. So now more men are saying, hey, let me DM him, let me message him and tell him something because I don't like what I see
So that's happening.
Yeah.
every day.
I love that.
But this, and we talked about it earlier, takes consistent
Yeah.
conversation and the most important thing on this journey, patience.
Ooh, boy.
For sure.
I like that.
So the women who like your stuff, they will find ways to tell their men what you say.
Yeah.
And you see, if you say that, oh, they have too much women, you might stop what you're doing, but not understand the patience comes with how long that goes
Yeah.
before they tell them.
Yeah.
They are the influence. That's why I said we need each other. Like, when you dress up nice, you go out nice for
Yeah,
me.
you're right.
Dress yourself.
I need my gal bad. Mwah. Love you, baby.
Right?
Yeah.
So I think that is one of the things you have to find a different way to look at it and look at it in a way that they can be successful.
Yeah.
And that's one of the things you have to, 'cause especially with your posts, if all the women on there now, they have sons, they have husbands, they have
Yeah.
brothers, they have cousins, they have uncles.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So,
Perspective.
I mean, of course, it's game on. So my question to you is, how can a man stay game on without pretending everything is okay?
By one, understanding that not everything has to be
Okay,
okay.
I said that. Yes,
That's
I remember
beautiful,
that.
Like,
yeah.
don't have to, things don't have to be so perfect. We don't have to be curated for IG. We don't have to be, you can find things, listen, people learn more from mistakes than they learn from
100%.
success.
Yeah.
Right? So when we talk about one way that men could stay game on, it's up to you.
Yeah.
And you have to understand that, listen, this is a learning process. Once we have air to breathe there, we literally learning every single day. And it's learn and apply. So it's just a matter of fact that everything does not have to be perfectly lined up.
Yeah.
And nobody should rush your process.
So you're saying that in order for men to be game on, they have to worry a little less about actually being game on and just allow themselves
You don't have to worry less about the game.
Yeah, don't rush shy, man, brother. You're telling yourself.
Yeah, that's a key thing I've told a lot of people. Stop letting people rush your process.
Yeah.
Everybody have different
Everybody
timelines.
have different time.
Yeah.
I like that.
And this brings back to the question I was asking earlier. To a young man feeling that pressure of having to succeed, and we give ourselves like these timelines, by 30 I want to have X, Y, Z. And I think that really destroys a lot of young men when they set those goals and they maybe don't reach it, or
They're not going to meet it.
yeah, or they don't see themselves making the
Listen,
progress
you're
that
not
they
going to meet
expect.
it at that age.
Yeah,
If you think you're successful at 30 years old and your
Yeah.
heat span is 75,
Yeah.
you definitely ain't make it, bro.
Yeah.
If you look at millionaires and billionaires, they all started from the age of 45 upwards.
Yeah.
The ones that you see on Instagram are not millionaires. And I just tell it flat.
Yeah.
They're not.
Yeah.
It's curated. It looks really good. They might have a yacht that they rent and a car that they rent, or
Yeah.
a boat that they rent.
The fake.
Yeah.
Right? And some of them may get it through inherited money.
Yeah.
True that.
We continue as men to compare all levels to level 10 and we are level 2.
Yeah.
And we don't trust the timing
Yeah.
of life. So that is the pressure that you face. And if you are, because I'll tell
I
my
as a
son,
24-year-old man will
Correct.
compare myself to men like 40, 50 years
I had
old.
a conversation with a 19-year-old on the phone, a nice hourly conversation with him. And he said to me, Mr. G, I feel like I behind.
Yeah.
At 19?
19, yeah, bro.
Yo.
I'm surprised. However, I asked him, I said, in comparison to who?
Yeah.
That's crazy.
See? So that is what we facing because we have lost community and mentorship. And all we have is home, school, social media.
Yeah. And on social media, you're just seeing,
You've seen clips.
yeah, you're
You've
seeing
seen clips.
everything. Yeah.
You know, it's curated stuff that you will see. And people, a lot of people are not sharing the losses, you know.
Yeah.
That's true. As well as we comparing to yourself to other people or men who may do unscrupulous things to get
All
what.
those are part of it. Like I said,
Yeah.
level 10, you're level 3.
And something I really love to tell stories about my past and stuff, but I often find myself only telling the stories after it's done. So, like my suicide attempt, for example, I only told the story afterwards. While it was going on, I wouldn't talk about it. I wouldn't tell anybody. Do you believe there's value in sharing the story while you're in the deep of it?
You can only connect the dots going backward. Steve Jobs? Think so?
Yeah.
You put pressure on yourself for something that you don't even know what's going on. That position that you're in, that's your process. You share this story after because we as human beings are connected by relatable stories and experiences. That's your process.
Yeah.
So somebody will say, do it while you're going through it. Really? How? And if you do it while you're going through it, does it look authentic?
Yeah.
Then the people call you looking for to be a victim and all that.
Yeah.
That's just how it is.
Yeah.
And like I said, I keep the conversation no
sure.
fluff. When you tell the story after, you have won at that experience. People love to hear stories where the
You
hero
win.
does
Yeah.
the dying yet.
Victory
Yeah.
story.
Right?
Correct.
So people will look at that and say, oh my God. And again, your story is going to help somebody who might be thinking about it or have not been through it yet. This is why I said we
Yeah.
need to share more stories among men that men understand there are other people who are going through stuff. Not
Yeah.
everybody has it legit.
Yeah.
Not everybody flying first class. Some people in the back.
Yeah.
They still get in the same place.
As you say, even your dad, a man who you would look at and say young and be like, yeah, he have it all figured out. He know what he doing.
Who tells us
Yeah.
otherwise? We
Yeah.
don't know. And then when you talk to him now and you talk about all the things he went through in order to get your family where it is. That's why I always tell my dad every single day, like every day, if I message him FaceTime, I'm like, yo, thanks.
Yeah.
Sometimes you be weirded out, like, why are you saying thanks? But I know why.
Yeah.
Because the things that he had to go through. I'm glad he even got to the point that he is
Yeah.
now.
Yeah.
Because I think this generation, some of them, and this might be controversial, may not have been able to deal with that.
Nah. Straight up, no.
But then
No.
you see there's more distractions now.
Yeah.
And there's more comparison, level 10 to level
Yeah.
3. And like you said, all these things that we're supposed to do. Who said that? Who's we?
I
Yeah.
like that. So we shared a lot. So in wrapping up, I would just like to know two things. Firstly, what is one thing that gives you hope about men's mental health in the Caribbean?
This conversation.
Sharif, make up we
You have to understand. You have to understand that this is not entertaining.
Yeah.
This is educational.
Facts. Facts.
You might be entertaining, and that's why I said I'm glad that you're here because now we could do both
He can make the message a little more relatable.
and relaxed.
Yeah.
And we could do both and educate people. So this conversation is more important, and both of you all will know because there's a different demographic of people that will look at it and now take from it.
Yeah.
Nice.
So the hope comes from the conversation that's consistent.
And I think the beautiful thing about this conversation as well is that how old are you now?
25.
25. You have a 25-year-old, a 24-year-old, and a...
How
I'm
about
22.
49?
So you have like 3 different generations essentially having these conversations, which is beautiful to
This is
see.
what we talked about with the whole mentorship thing
Yeah.
and different levels. We don't have those things anymore. So
beautiful
the
to see.
conversation is very important because of that.
Yeah.
And that's why I said the schools are one of the places you have to target. You have to talk to them.
Yeah.
And you can have older men who have those type of discussions. You can have a football match where you talk about stuff after.
Yeah.
Those are all.
And we have football friends, yeah.
Yeah.
Correct.
Yeah.
Lovely.
But I appreciate you sharing as well your story.
Appreciate that.
And I definitely appreciate you sharing your story as well. I
We
think it makes
appreciate
sense.
you as well, man,
Yeah.
Garth.
Thank you.
All right, so I just way to close off by finishing this sentence for me. Right? A man stays game on by,
Man says game on
yeah.
by being mentally aware and ready. That's it.
Yeah.
You don't-
That's all you need.
That's where it starts.
Yeah.
Fellas, yeah, that's right. Lock in, be aware, know yourself. I like that. All the blessings. Hey, it was game on.
Yeah.
I'm Taddy,
I'm Sharif.
and I was Garth. Well, bless up. Big up on yourself.